Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Help for the Guildless. My name, of course, is Antoine, and I am back. I'm not 100%, but more around 93 to 95%. I have a lingering cough, but that's okay. I have recovered from my bout of the plague, and I am here to talk to you about something very satisfying. Now, I don't know if you know who Clementine Ford is. If you don't, consider yourself lucky. She happens to be a feminist vlogger in Australia. Bearing, I'm looking at you. I know you know who this cunt is, and I don't use that term loosely. I am not Australian. I don't use it as a slang term. When I say cunt, I mean this bitch is a cunt. So, she was doing a talk at a very prestigious school, and she refused to answer questions from boys, 10th grade boys. In response to this, a few schoolgirls walked out on her. Now, the article I'm going to be reading from is from news.com.au. You can see it on screen now. I'm just going to read through it like I normally do, and I'm going to give you some satisfying opinions in just the fact that this happened. Some schoolgirls staged a walkout on feminist Clementine Ford after she refused to take questions from male students at an exclusive Aquinas Collage in Melbourne. I know I said that wrong. I apologize. The 35-year-old blogger, she's only 35, good God. When I show you a picture of her, you're going to think she's at least 50. The 35-year-old blogger and controversial, outspoken activist was slammed by parents after she blocked questions from Year 10 schoolboys at the private secondary school. The incident, which caused some female Aquinas students to walk out of Ford's talk, happened in May this year. One angry parent claimed Ford had treated her 15-year-old male student like crap, and believe it or not, that 15-year-old male student got off easy with how she actually treats men and boys. Clementine Ford is one of those third-wave feminists that is very much into the kill all men thing. She is also the hypocritical sort, that if you call her something that she uses as a positive and you use it as a pejorative, she will actually contact your work. Clementine Ford, I want you to listen, please, because I'm going to say this to you with every fiber of my being. You leather purse, alligator shoe looking cunt. You are the worst type of feminist. You are hypocritical in nature, and if anything were to ever happen to you, I would be the first one to dance on your grave and leave a steaming BM on top of your headstone. I would gladly go to jail for pissing in open public on your remains. And that's about as nice as I can be for this woman. And I hope she listens to that, because I really want her to try and contact my work. The boys wanted to ask her questions, and she refused to answer questions from boys. She goes, No, I'm only taking questions from girls. Parent Darren told Melbourne Radio 3AW. The ones that turned on her after she treated the boys like crap was the girls who got up and left. I'm glad they got up and left. I think they should have got up and left. I think the entire auditorium should have got up and left, because it proves a point to these idiots that get hired and paid for these talks. Proves that they're only getting a paycheck because the audience said so. Clementine Ford is one of those people who thinks she's above everyone. We used to have someone in Gamergate like that. Her name is Leigh Alexander. Don't remember her, neither does anyone else. The father said following the fallout from the talk, Ford went nuts. She crucified the boys online, and the school had to do a massive backpedal. Yes, see, it's okay for her to rally and rail against anyone she wants. But as soon as that is turned back on her, she throws a temper tantrum, and she's very much, the term is cry bully. She uses her influence to basically lambast, it's a good word, It's right there. Lambast anyone who talks against her, and then cries victim when her hypocrisy is pointed out. Ford, who was hired to speak at the school on gender and popular culture, has denied allegations on social media that she had mistreated the boys. Of course she did. And anything that she had, there's no video evidence or evidence online or anything like that, so it's just her word, who she's a social media darling, against Year 10 boys and girls. Ford took to Twitter to lambast her critics as pissants and angry wanks. Angry wanks, is that an Australian thing? If I ever get the chance, I have to ask Bering about it. Because what I picture is someone getting so angry that they pop a boner and then just force one out real quick to relieve the stress. I don't know. In one response, she said, I answered questions for 15 minutes afterwards, longer than I was contracted for. Oh no, you had to answer questions for 15 minutes. What? That was 2 questions? 2 questions that you probably rambled on about? I'm sorry, I didn't know that your time was so sensitive since you're being paid for this. She said she had been paid to speak for 50 minutes, but I was not paid to deal with ongoing bullshit and demands from small-minded boys who cannot handle being shown their worldview is limited. Wow. Their worldview is limited. Holy shit, Clementine. You are part of the most limited view scope of people on the planet. You are so focused in on yourself that you have no concept of what is going on in the real world. You are in a bubble of safety. And when something bad happens, you scream and cry and let the white knights do all the work for you. But yes, Year 10 boys need to be shown that their worldview is limited. You have to be the dumbest cunt I've ever heard. And when I say dumbest, I mean dumbest. And I've met some pretty fucking stupid people. She goes on, the reason I excused myself to leave was because my time was up and I had to get home to my baby so my partner could go to work. That's right, she has a son. I feel so bad for that child that has to grow up with a mother like this. You're going to see him in a few years as one of the nouveau, I'm 10 years old and I'm a drag queen. He's going to be so afraid of his own penis that he's never going to accomplish anything because he's going to be afraid of upsetting his mother. Ford said she had received offensive messages from Aquinas students on her Twitter and Facebook accounts and complained she had been called a cunt. Oh no, oh no, oh no, she was called a cunt by students. Are you telling me this 35-year-old handbag can't deal with students calling her names? Something she uses freely, as they say in the next. If you're reading ahead, you see what she has been able to say. Are you telling me that you get offended by children and you're worried about them having a narrow worldview? Are you kidding me, woman? Grow a pair. However, in a July 2013 tweet, Ford used the word freely, posting on Twitter, too many cunts on Twitter today. Cunty, cunt, cunt, cunting, hashtag cunt. I'm guessing since it's all starred out. Following the May incident, Aquinas College sent a letter to parents saying it may in the future revise its program to hire Ford to address the students. And as you can see, that's Clementine Ford right there. I don't want to give you any other images of this alligator shoe because I don't want you to have nightmares, and that means I also have to look them up, and I don't want to have nightmares myself. Just looking at her smirking face is enough to bring up my lunch. So, she gets paid as a journalist. She gets paid to deal and write and talk about these subjects. And she could not handle Year 10 students. Preferably, she couldn't handle the boys. And it wasn't out of any necessity, like the boys were asking hard questions. She just refused to answer them. This is starting to be a common occurrence. We saw it with Anita Sarkeesian at VidCon. Linda Sarsour has done it to another male student when she was talking, and now Clementine Ford has done something of the same. If you can't defend your own ideology, then you have no business speaking about it. Milo Yiannopoulos gets asked hundreds of different types of questions, most of them around the same thing. Why do you hate people? Why do you hate blacks? Why do you hate gays? Why are you a conservative? Why do you hate feminists? Why is feminism cancer? All of these things. And he still answers the questions from quote-unquote intellectuals that think they know better than he does. And yet this very popular feminist blogger can't answer questions from year 10 boys. I agree with Milo Yiannopoulos. Shine a light on these roaches, because if their ideology cannot stand up to scrutiny, it needs be forgotten. And apparently Clementine Ford can't even stand up to people half her age. Don't give these people any credence. Don't let them dictate how things are going to happen. And that's all I really have to say. I would love to hear what you think. Please let me know in the comments. I do enjoy reading them, and I answer all of them. If you like what I do here, if you like what I have to say, please hit subscribe, hit like, and share me around. If you'd like to follow me on any of the social medias, all of the links are down below. I will even leave a link to this article. Thank you very much for listening, ladies and gentlemen. This has been Help for the Guildless. My name, of course, is Antoine. I hope you have a wonderful evening.